And just like that, we are back in your ear and on your screen, ready to scream because the NFL is back too. It's the Extra Point with Mazzi and Livezone Season 2. We're back for another year, baby. Livezone, what's going on? How we feeling?
We got a lot of things coming to you, talking about fantasy drafts, talking about players, talking about preseason, going at the future for, what we see in comparisons. We got a lot to talk about today.
We're going to New England, and yes, we have quarterback controversy going down to New England to start it off. Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, Brandon Zappi, and Silky Joe Milton. Silky Milton, you're hearing it here first. We're coining the term. Livezone. A little bit. They all got some play this week. Okay. Now, what you like? What didn't you like? What impressed you? What concerned you? What did you see from this first week with the quarterbacks of the New England Patriots?
Well, for number one, Joe Milton. All right. Joe Milton is exactly what I said he was going to be ever since I saw him in the draft combine. He's not a guy that just can throw the ball lights out. He can also run. He can also make good plays. He reminds me a lot of a little Cam Newton type of thing with a better arm. Kind of what the Patriots wanted in 2019 or 2020. Now we're seeing it with Joe Milton. Now we're getting it. So I like what I see from Joe Milton. Drake May, I'm a little concerned about. Third overall draft pick. I kind of called this. I really said that we should be going for Marvin Harrison. Don't know why we didn't if we had Joe Milton on our minds. But Drake May not getting enough snaps for really us to see anything from Drake. Kind of worrying. Jacoby Brissett really not showing the veteran leadership that I thought he would be in the first preseason game. Maybe it was just a bad game because of the rain and stuff like that. And Bailey Zappi, man, can we get this guy off the team? Like, I was a fan of Bailey Zappi over Mac Jones, but come on, we got three quarterbacks that are a lot better than Bailey Zappi. There's no reason for Bailey Zappi to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, first off, Jacoby Brissett, 0 for 3, no yards, no completed passes, no touchdowns, no nothing. This man was a few weeks ago going to be the starting quarterback for New England. I hope that ship has sailed. Don't even get me started on Zappi, okay? He got the most snaps. He had the most passing yards. He didn't have the most TDs. Get this man off the team like you said, okay? This should have been out the door, on the doorstep, on the pickup with Mac Jones, okay? The trash was ready to go. The trash was ready for pickup. Let's talk about Silky Milton, okay? Joe Milton coming out here throwing a dot for a TD, looking like he's having fun out there and looking like he's bringing energy to New England where the fans are excited to watch what he does. That's going to sell tickets. That's who New England should be rocking with come week 1. Drake May has very, very underperformed, extremely underperformed in my eyes. I know it's one game. It's a preseason game. It's the first one. Everybody's working out their kinks. I'm following training camps and news reports and insider data. They're saying Drake May is not it. He's not panning out the way it is. And Joe Milton should be the one going ahead and starting on game 1 of the NFL season. I'm totally on board with that. I'm going to go to a game if I know Joe Milton's playing quarterback. I'm not going to a game if I know any other quarterback on this list that we're talking about is starting for the New England Patriots. I mean, that's just bottom line.
Now, this is the thing that I want to get across is we had the number 3 draft pick. New England Patriots fans were excited, were pumped, get a new face instead of Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi on the field. I get it 110%. But if you look in the past with Patriots history, your quarterback doesn't always have to be a number 1, 2, or 3 pick. We look at Tom Brady, right? And that's what we're seeing with Joe Milton. Joe Milton didn't need to get picked in the first round to be good. Drake May, I don't understand why they pick Drake May with the third pick when they had people like Malik Neighbors on the board, when they had people like Marvin Harrison on the board. Hell, like they had Brendan Rice on the board, which we're going to talk about later on. I just don't understand why the New England Patriots decided to pick two quarterbacks knowing that they already signed Jacoby Brissett. It didn't make sense to me. So for me, this draft is a win because you got Milton, but at the same time, it's a loss because that number 3 pick was wasted, and we're seeing a hell of a lot of good talent getting picked by other teams when you could have picked your number 1 receiver instead of trying to go out and getting injured Brandon Ayuk or whatever it was that you followed out trade talks with, right? So that's the thing that I'm looking at for New England is, yes, we're going to be good, but we're not going to be great. We don't have that number 1 guy yet. We don't have, it's building blocks, you know what I mean? And talking about building blocks, you also got to remember that they're also trying to work a contract with Matthew Judon. If he goes, what do you get out of that? You know what I mean? So, like, this is the things that the New England Patriots need to start talking about. You need these building blocks, and a guy like Joe Milton that makes great plays and can play under pressure, and it honestly is probably the best thing that we've seen at quarterback since Tom Brady. I'm taking Joe Milton all day over Drake May.
Hey, this is exactly the way the Patriots have always been though in drafting. Let's look back. You get Tom Brady in. Okay, you know you're making the playoffs. You're gonna have a low draft pick. They never got the man any help on offense. Never usually got a big name except '07 when they went out and landed Randy Moss. And what happened? They went 16-0 and almost had an undefeated season, losing to the Giants. They were always putting pieces on defense and the offensive line. No stars. They like turning nobodies into somebodies. This is classic Patriot stuff. But you don't have the star on your team to carry the team anymore and to put all that bad stuff to rest and in people's rear view mirror. I didn't care about bad drafts. I didn't care about not getting the best player. I knew that we had the best quarterback in the league and we were able to win. Now we don't have that luxury. Now the Patriots need to make moves around it. Signing Brandon Ayuk would have been huge. I know that Brandon Ayuk looked at it and said, ew, if I want my career to die, I go to New England right now. Whereas way back when, it was let me win a championship and take a little pay cut so I can go to New England. I'm not surprised by what the Patriots are doing, but I just don't think it's going to work because you don't have that main guy. Joe Milton might be able to be that main guy in years to come, and I think that's what they might be banking on. But so far, the moves have not been great, and not to mention, we just lost Juju Smith-Schuster, which I don't know if that was more of him not being up to the level that he used to be at, or if that was more the Patriots just didn't see what they liked and wanted to move on from that. So what did you see from that?
Well, I mean, he's definitely aging. He's definitely past his prime. Being on Pittsburgh, ever since he left Pittsburgh, he hasn't been the same player that he was. Kansas City, he was always hurt, but won a championship because he was still productive enough in his last productive years. Goes to New England, really a waste of a contract. Should have been Jacoby Myers that should have gotten that contract instead of Juju, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that. So Juju, kind of a waste of a contract. They knew what was coming. Maybe he's more injured than we thought from last year. Maybe he's still dealing with it. I just think that the Patriots didn't want to really take the risk on him, in my own opinion.
You know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We love talking about the Patriots and we could do it all day and night, but we have other things to talk about in the NFL. What's up, guys? It's Mazzi with Livezone Sports. You like betting? I like betting too. Livezone Sports has partnered with Rithmm, a new AI software betting creator. It creates an algorithm just for you and what you like to bet on. We've done it with our past 11 bets and we have hit 8 of them. NFL football season is coming up and you're not going to want to miss this. Over a 60% accuracy, Rithmm is top in its game. It creates a customized profile for you and customized bet algorithm for you to follow. Even when you lose, it tells you how you could have won. And even better, it tells you
for sure wins that are going to happen. It'll have a percentage next to the bet that tells you, oh, this is 74% likely to happen, 69% likely to happen, or this is 35%. Stay away from it. It has the little exclamation mark with the yellow thing around it that makes it like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You might not want to do this. Bet Rithmm. We have a link in the bio for you to go get it, sign up, try it out, little free trial. After that, you can subscribe if you'd like to, but give it a shot. Win some money. Do something, okay? The NFL's here again and ready in your face. Don't be the person losing all the bets. Be the guy on Tuesday at work saying, I just hit the Monday night, the Sunday night, 6 on Saturday, even the Thursday night bet. Get it going. Bet Rithmm.
The other teams we are talking about are the New York Giants, who played the Detroit Lions. Eric Gray, running back from Oklahoma State University, making waves, being compared early to Saquon. Livezone, what did you like from him? What did you see? You think the ruffles are true? He could be the next Saquon for that organization?
110%. Eric Gray is an exciting talent on the field. The way he moves, his shiftiness, the way how fast he is, he can receive the ball, he can block for you, he can run the ball, he can do pretty much anything from what we've seen in that first preseason game. I know I'm getting excited for preseason, but you got to look at this and be like, yo, this rookie kind of got it. He's not getting the talk, but he got the play. So I do want to talk about this. 4 carries, 2 touchdowns, 52 yards rushing. Then after that, he also had 4 receptions for 46 yards as well. So he's starting to unravel what we're seeing, what we're gonna get from the New York Giants. You got to remember, you also have Malik Neighbors there. But it really just comes down to Daniel Jones again for the New York Giants. I said last year that the New York Giants were a team to watch out for. I didn't know it was going to be in the draft. I thought it was going to be in the play, but unfortunately it didn't plan out the way that they wanted it to. But the way that I'm looking at this team right now, they got options, and the options are kind of looking scary. And honestly, this just relies down on the quarterback. That's where this problem is. Has nothing to do with the receivers. Definitely doesn't have to do with the running back. With that performance that we saw in the preseason game, it really just has to do with Daniel Jones. And if Daniel Jones can correct his mistakes and not throw as many picks or be garbage, Giants are going to be okay.
Yeah, I see the Giants again this year being a classic Giants team to win the championship, sneaking into the playoffs at maybe like a 10-7, a 9-8 record, and getting a favorable matchups in the first round, maybe making a couple upsets and ending up deep in the playoff run. They do have some talent on this team. Malik Neighbors is going to make an impact whenever he does get that ball in his hands. Daniel Jones, I mean, if there's been a few instances of Daniel Jones, he's a few inches off, but if he made those plays, the Giants win some important games and end up there at the end. So yes, dangerous team to look out for this year. Absolutely. I'm excited for Eric Gray, this running back too. 4 carries for 53 yards and 2 tutties is nothing to slouch about, even though it's in the preseason. Man, those are some good reps to get. Staying in the NFL, we have the new kickoff rule as well that we need to talk about. Okay? Okay, listen. All right. First of all, there's too many rules on this kickoff. There's too much going on. Okay, I got my first gripe going on with how do the players know that they're good to go once the receiver catches the ball? What if somebody is early on the ball? Are they going to get a penalty? Because that is a penalty in the rule book. But how are the refs going to determine if they're looking at the players at the line? How can they look at the person receiving the ball and catching the ball at the same time? You need 2 sets of eyes. And you can't be on perfect timing with 2 sets of eyes every time. I don't care how much you're being paid and what ref you've been for your entire life. That's not possible. Games are going to be won and lost off those penalties this year, and I am not here for it. As well as if you get a touchback in the end zone, straight up, go straight into the end zone, you get it at the 30. If the ball hits in the landing zone between the 20 and the goal line and goes into the end zone and you touch back it, you get it at the 20. Now I see the incentive for kickers now not to kick it as far, but I don't see the incentive for anybody to return a kickoff. Just take it at the 30. 90% of the time, that's about as far as you're going to get. Unless you're Devin Hester, like we've been talking about off camera. Okay? This rule is I get it. It's player safety. Line them up at the 40. Nobody gets a running head start. Nobody's getting killed on the tackles anymore. But you're taking the fun and the substance out of the football that we all grew up knowing and loving. And you're making it something completely different. This is why we all say football probably won't even be around in 20 years. It's not even going to be the same thing. Live zone. I can't even explain the whole kickoff rule because people will be tuning out and saying I'm saying something crazy. But based off what you know about this new kickoff rule and everything, what are your thoughts about how it's going to pan out? And are you for it or against
Well, we're going for flag football. I mean, that's really what the NFL is
it?
going to, right? I mean, might as well take the pads off, right? No. In all honesty, I see what they're doing. Do I agree with it? Absolutely fucking not. I don't agree with it whatsoever. It does ruin the game. It ruins the whole dynamic of special teams. Players like Matthew Slater, players like Devin Hester, players, this ruins how they play the game, right? You know what I mean? So it's a bad thing for the players that want to play the game the right way and want to play football, and it's good for the players that are pussies, pretty much. So, but no, in all honesty, I don't understand it. I don't see why they did it. But I do know that this gets rid of one. This gets rid of most, if not all, kick returns. Number two, this gets rid of all, if not most, of the trick plays in kickoffs. It gets rid of the game completely. So if you want to go to the extent of let's go play flag football, go for it. Just take off the fucking pads if you're going to do it. Make a new league out of it. Don't ruin the league that we know and we love, that we want to watch every single season. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. I don't even know how you're supposed to even do an onside kick anymore. You got
Yeah.
your team lining up at the opposite 40 and you're kicking off from the opposite 35 and nobody can move until a receiver touches the ball or it hits in the landing zone. There's no way to do an onside kick anymore.
Yep, no way to do an onside kick, no way to do a squib kick, no way to do a high fly kick. It's literally just a regular kickoff now, and they're kind of ruining the game by doing it.
Might as well just give the teams the ball at the 30 to start every single drive. Okay,
Hmm.
that's where we're getting at with this game. Just give them at the 30. You get 4 downs to score a touchdown. Are we going to get rid of first downs pretty soon because people are getting hit too much?
Or get rid of the length of the field. Like, what's
Yeah.
next?
Are we going
So,
to play college football overtime rules, start at the 30 and try and get a touchdown and that's the game? That's the whole game? I don't
this
know.
this helps offenses, but it hurts defenses 1,010%.
I
That's the way I
I
look
think
at it.
it hurts the whole game in total. I think it hurts offenses as well. I mean,
I mean, yeah.
let's see. The kick return is a big play. There's a big difference between the offense starting at the 30 of their own and the 30 of the other people's. You know, if there's no opportunity for run backs, there's no opportunity to advance the ball. You're doing a disservice to the game and the high flying wow factor of the game. It's very frustrating as a fan of the NFL looking back from 2005 to where we are now in 20 years of the NFL, it's crazy. Ray
Well,
Lewis played 20 years ago, okay? Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis could not play in today's NFL. He could
nope.
not.
Same thing with Ed Reed. Same thing with Rodney Harrison. Same thing with a lot
Troy
of these defensive.
Polamalu,
Yep.
Vontez Burfict barely could play
Yep.
when he played.
Yep. Teddy Bruschi is another one. All these defensive players that played in the prime time of football are just their careers are rolling in their graves right now because they're looking at how the game is being played right now. So thank you, Roger Goodell, once again. Why you ruined the NFL? So,
Get him out!
all
Get him out of here!
right, all right. Next thing that we got going on, we do want to let you guys know that tomorrow the Chargers are going against the Seahawks. This means first look at Brendan Rice in a Chargers uniform. I'm going to see that connection with Justin Herbert and Brendan Rice a little bit, maybe for like a quarter, if that. But still, it's still something to look out for. Same thing with the Saints and Cardinals. We get the first look at Marvin Harrison Jr. tomorrow. That's the one that I'm really looking out for. We're going to see if Kyler Murray can actually throw the ball to Marvin Harrison or not. So,
You playing
with
Call of Duty.
yeah. So I mean, we're gonna see if it was the right decision to keep Kyler as your starting quarterback or not. So,
Well, no, we're gonna have
I
to
love
see. And then
to
we got like 3 games on Sunday after that, and then we got one Monday nighter. I think Dallas is playing on Monday night. And then we have a full week of everybody. We've seen what everybody's bringing to the table week 1. Part 1 of the 4-week trial before the season. Whoo! September's coming, baby. We got
It's
fantasy
coming.
football too going on. We got drafts coming next week. We're gonna do a special little draft event. Don't you worry. We got something cooking up. Livezone and I in a fantasy league with a couple of our friends as well as some sponsorships here with the pod. Always gonna be a fun time.
Yes, sir. But like I always say, stay tuned.